It's officially less than 1 month until Fae Farm drops, and I cannot be more excited. And thanks to a developer livestream last week, we now know even more information about Fae Farm, so you can really decide not only if you should buy the game, but also which platform is the best to buy Fae Farm on. So make sure you subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with all things new and cozy, and let's get into this. For those who somehow don't know, Fae Farm is a magical farming/life sim that sees you create your very own cozy home in the enchanted world of Eeowna, a world full of fairies, magical creatures, and plenty to explore. But the thing that really caught my eye about Fae Farm compared to all the other cozy and farming sims that are all releasing around the same time was the combination between the farming sim elements that we know and love from all our other favorite games, but also an RPG-like story going alongside everything. The story starts with you finding a letter in a bottle inviting you to a faraway land. And after a pretty rough journey, you stumble upon the shores of Eeowna, a land full of magic, wonders, and a lot of problems. I mean, a lot of problems. But after the mayor kind of offers you a free house and a huge plot of land, you decide you can see past all of the town's issues to start a brand new life here. And I mean, in this economy, fair enough. The game itself is very quest driven, with not only main quests but also side quests as well. So you'll always be traveling around the town with a purpose. Or should I say towns, because I'm no longer convinced this is the only town that's in Fae Farm. Because from the way the developers were speaking in the last live stream, it's starting to look like the world is way bigger than I initially thought it would be. Outside of the story though, there is still a ton to do, as this is absolutely chock full of all your typical farming and life sim mechanics. But it turns out there's even more to do, as I recently discovered that there's going to be multiple farms for you to care for, with each farm location being in different environments, so I'm guessing that means we might have different crops to plant in each of them. The thing that really caught my eye in the trailer though wasn't the normal farming sim mechanics, it was the theme of magic. In this tiny section of the trailer, you get to see someone water their plants with what looks to be like a rain cloud spell. So I really hope these spells are something we can actually do in the game. But on top of the crop care, you also get to care for magical animals. There's also seasons and seasonal events to take part in as well. You can also do all your usual foraging, like chopping down trees, weeding, and even finding recipes all around. You can also fish and catch bugs as well. And by doing each of these activities, you'll be able to level up the skill associated to it, and thereby unlock more stuff to do and more things to discover. You can also take these resources and process them in different machines as well to get different items. There's also a ton of shops in the town and tons of NPCs to romance. And don't worry, I did ask the very important question of, can you dump NPCs so you can date someone else? And the answer is yes, thankfully. You can also get married to the NPCs, and there are also huge expanses of mines to go and explore as well. Now, one thing to note, there is combat in the mines, but this is a lot more forgiving than other farming sim/RPGs we've seen before. Because not only is the combat not all that difficult, they've actually given us a way to avoid combat entirely. And you can do this by brewing these invisibility potions. And so long as you don't attack a single enemy, they will never notice you in the mines. And I personally think that's a really good addition, because honestly, not everyone wants to fight in a farming sim. Another one of my favorite aspects from what we've seen of Fae Farm so far is the house decoration. Unlike other farming sims where you just decorate your house to make it look nice, this actually gives you a purpose in the game to decorate. They call this the cozy mechanic, and basically the furniture which you craft and place in your house will have an effect on how much health and stamina you have. Or in other words, if you make better and bigger furniture for your house, you'll have more health and more stamina for you to use. One thing that really did stick out to me when I got the opportunity to play this earlier in the year was just how slick the farming sim mechanics were. I think sometimes, especially playing farming sims on a controller, they can feel just a little bit awkward, but Fae Farm seemed to try and streamline this process as much as possible. I think one aspect that really exemplifies this is when you're out kind of chopping trees, cutting down the grass, it will change tool for you automatically. So you don't have to faff around trying to find the right tool for each and every job. You just have to run over and get it done. And if that's already not enough for you, not only will you have multiple farms, you'll also have multiple houses to decorate as well. So that's the story and the gameplay. Let's talk a little bit about multiplayer, as this is something that is mentioned in each and every one of the trailers, but until recently we hadn't seen a single thing about it. And as many of you know, Fae Farm is coming out not only on the Nintendo Switch, but also on PC as well. And the great news is crossplay has been confirmed. This means that no matter which version of the game you buy, you'll be able to play with your friends. So multiplayer in Fae Farm works a little bit differently from other farming sim games we've seen. And this is mainly because Fae Farm is very story driven. And the way it works is that you can invite people to come to your game to help you out with the story, but their game progress will remain unaffected by coming to your game. So basically, it's only the person of the world you're in whose story will move forwards. For everyone else, they'll just come to your world, have fun, and when they go back to their games, they'll be in the exact point they left off. However, don't worry, they won't go home completely empty-handed, as the money you get for helping your friend out and the stuff you sell each day is given to both players. A few quick things to note about the online experience. I think it's highly likely, if you're a Switch user, that you'll need Nintendo Switch Online in order to enjoy the multiplayer experience. And that although the game does have the capabilities to be played online and with your friends, you don't have to. Fae Farm was designed to be a great solo experience as well as a great multiplayer one. Now in this live stream, we also got to see it, albeit very small, some PC footage. And I believe this might be the first time we've seen raw PC footage of Fae Farm. And I will say, although the Switch footage is by no means bad, the PC version does look an awful lot better, and I would go as far to say the game looks particularly stunning on the PC. We also got a few other bits of information that I think it's important to cover. First of all, they did confirm that you can't change the speed of each day. Now, the nice thing is you can take the story completely at your own pace. There's no timers, there's no rush or anything like that, although doing the story will help you unlock more aspects of the game. It is still disappointing to see that we can't fine-tune our experience just a little bit more. The other thing to note is the game will force you to go to bed each and every night at a set time, so you won't get punished at all for going to bed too late. It basically forces you to spawn back in your bed at the start of every day. They've also said how you can have multiple saves on the same system, which I think is a really nice thing to have. And as of the time of recording this video, they haven't really said anything about cross progression. So from the looks of it, I don't think cross progression is going to be a thing, sadly. So if you own the game on both the Switch and your PC, you can't play on the same save file. And they have stated that this is not a live service game. So this means whilst the game is expensive, it's full Nintendo price. Unless they come out with something big like DLC, you're unlikely to see much in the way of microtransactions. However, although there are no paid cosmetics, if you do pre-order the game, so buy it before midnight on the 8th of September, you will receive these bonus items, no matter whether you bought the game physically or digitally. I've been excited about Fae Farm for the longest time, and to me, the real thing that will determine whether it's worth the money or not is how long the game is, and there's no way to know that until I have it in my hands. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you want to see even more gameplay footage, you can click this video here where I got to play a couple of hours of Fae Farm.